It's a quiet evening in the recording studios of London, but if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of an industry in total panic. For decades, the formula for stardom was simple. Find a look, apply enough autotune to mask the flaws, and manufacture a viral moment. But tonight, our top story isn't about the latest chart-topping rapper or a TikTok sensation. It's about a disruption coming from a much quieter place. We've seen the rise and fall of countless manufactured stars, yet a young woman from Wigan is currently outperforming the giants of the industry without a single radio-ready gimmick. The music industry is facing a crisis of authenticity, and the data suggests that audiences are no longer buying what the labels are selling. As we look at the numbers, the trend is clear. Listeners are fleeing the artificiality of modern pop in search of something that feels human. This isn't just a shift in taste. It's a full-scale rebellion against the machine. While the major labels are hemorrhaging money on projected stars who can't sing a live note, an independent singer is proving that the soul of music never actually left. It just went underground. Tonight, we investigate how one girl is single-handedly devaluing the high-gloss, low-talent industry standard, and why the executives are terrified that her success might be the final nail in the coffin for the manufactured era. To understand where we are, we have to go back to 2018, to a stage that was supposed to be the launchpad for the world's next big thing. When Lucy Thomas first appeared on The Voice Kids, the narrative was already written. She was the prodigy with the old-world soul. But as our investigation into the show's mechanics reveals, reality TV isn't always about finding the best singer. It's about finding the best content. When Lucy was eliminated before the finale, the public outcry was immediate. Rumors began to circulate that the show's producers couldn't figure out how to market a girl who didn't fit the pop princess mold. They wanted drama. She gave them discipline. They wanted a story of struggle. She gave them vocal perfection. We've spoken to industry insiders who suggest that her exit wasn't a failure, but a strategic escape. By not winning, she avoided the restrictive, soul-crushing contracts that often follow these competition shows, contracts that have been described by others as industry-sanctioned traps. Instead of being molded into a disposable pop star by a corporate committee, Lucy disappeared from the mainstream eye, but she didn't stop singing. This was the moment the independent movement truly began. While her peers were being forced into dance rehearsals and auto-tune sessions, Lucy was reportedly in a small studio, refining a craft that would eventually make the very show that rejected her look like a footnote in her history. Behind every great success story is a partnership that the public rarely sees, and in Lucy's case, the name Chris Broom is whispered with both reverence and curiosity. As we dig into the logistics of her rise, we find a business model that looks nothing like the typical Hollywood setup. Broom, a songwriter and producer, has been the architect of Lucy's sound, but their partnership has been shrouded in a level of privacy that is unheard of in the age of oversharing. Some critics have questioned if this shadow partnership is a way of shielding Lucy from the harsh realities of the business, or if it's something more calculated, a walled garden designed to keep the predatory nature of the music industry at bay. We've analyzed the release schedules and the production quality of her albums, which are surprisingly high for an independent operation. This suggests a massive investment of time and resources that bypasses the traditional label fee structure. The controversy here lies in the gatekeeper effect. By creating their own ecosystem, Thomas and Broom have essentially told the major labels that they are irrelevant. This hasn't sat well with the established powers in London and New York. There are whispers that major offers were made and rejected, leading to a cold war of sorts where Lucy is rarely played on mainstream radio despite having millions of dedicated followers. It's a battle for control. Can an artist truly stay pure when the machine is trying to force its way in? Success, however, hasn't come without a significant personal toll, and recently, the cracks in the perfect facade have begun to show. For years, Lucy was seen as a stoic, almost ethereal figure, but reports have emerged of a vulnerability crisis that nearly derailed her entire career. Sources close to her circle have hinted at a struggle with crippling stage anxiety, a fear so intense that it led to the cancellation of several highly anticipated appearances. In an industry that demands constant presence, Lucy's periods of silence sparked intense speculation. Was she offing her public persona for good? Was the pressure of being the face of real music too much for a young woman to handle? We've looked into the history of performers who faced similar battles, and the results are often tragic. However, Lucy's approach to her mental health has been as unconventional as her career path. Instead of a high-profile breakdown and a subsequent rebrand for sympathy, she simply stepped back. This period of darkness led to rumors that her voice was failing or that she was being hidden away by her management. But what the public didn't know was that she was undergoing a transformation. She wasn't just resting, she was rebuilding. This wasn't a defeat, it was a tactical retreat. When she finally re-emerged, she wasn't the same girl who stood trembling on a reality TV stage. She had turned her greatest weakness into a form of armor, proving that you don't have to be industry tough to survive. In 2024, a single song sent shockwaves through her devoted fanbase, leading to the most significant controversy of her career to date. When Lucy released Don't Walk Away, it wasn't the sweeping orchestral ballad her fans expected. It was modern. It was upbeat. It was pop. The reaction was swift and in some corners brutal. Longtime supporters accused her of selling out to the very industry she had spent years avoiding. The comments sections were a battlefield. Some claimed she was being pressured to act her age and compete with the likes of Olivia Rodrigo, while others felt the purity of her brand had been permanently tarnished. This raises a difficult question for any artist. Are you allowed to grow, or are you a prisoner of your fans' expectations? We've analyzed the crossover phenomenon, where classical artists try to go mainstream, and it almost always ends in a loss of identity. But was this a desperate play for radio airplay or a genuine artistic evolution? Rumors surfaced that her team was testing the waters for a major label buyout, leading to fears that the savior of music was about to become just another cog in the wheel. However, the data shows that while the purists were angry, a whole new demographic was starting to tune in. The controversy didn't destroy her, it expanded her. It proved that Lucy Thomas wasn't a one-trick pony of nostalgia, but a versatile artist who could play the modern game without losing her soul. As we look toward the future, all eyes are on a high-stakes gamble that could change the trajectory of independent music forever. With her 2026 West End debut looming, Lucy is entering the ultimate testing ground. This isn't a controlled studio environment. It's a live, nightly demand for perfection in front of the world's harshest critics. Industry analysts are calling this her do or die moment. If she succeeds, she proves that an independent artist can conquer the most prestigious stages in the world without the backing of a Big Three record label. If she fails, it will be used as a cautionary tale by every executive who wants to maintain the status quo. We've received reports that the production is one of the most ambitious for an independent performer in recent history, involving a scale of stagecraft that usually requires corporate funding. Where is the money coming from? Speculation is rife that a secret benefactor or a massive, undisclosed partnership is involved, but our sources suggest it's simpler than that. It's the power of a direct-to-fan economy. Lucy has bypassed the middlemen for so long that she has the capital to fund her own revolution. The industry is watching with bated breath, because a win for Lucy in the West End is a loss for the traditional, star-making machinery. It's a power play that could inspire 1,000 other artists to break their chains. We return to the central question. Is Lucy Thomas a true revolutionary or simply a masterfully marketed throwback to a simpler time? As our report concludes, the evidence points to something much more complex than a simple good versus evil narrative. She is a mirror, reflecting our own exhaustion with a culture that values clout over competence. Her success isn't just about her voice. It's about the fact that she represents a safe harbor in a chaotic, often SHT-stained entertainment landscape. She has navigated the accusations surfacing about her management, the crippling fears of performance, and the sell-out claims, and she has emerged with her dignity intact. Whether or not she saves, music is irrelevant. She has already saved the idea that talent can still be the primary driver of a career. As we sign off tonight, we leave you with this. The next time you hear a song that sounds like it was written by an algorithm and performed by a robot, remember that there is a girl in England who decided to do things differently. She didn't off her career when things got tough. She leaned into the struggle. And in doing so, she might have just given the rest of us a reason to start listening again. The Savior has arrived, but she didn't come with a crown. She came with a microphone and a refusal to be anything other than herself.